Great. So moving on to our second topic, since Brant is boring. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Brant.
It's good.
Those of you PS4 owners may have lamented I don't know how long download you had to do last week for the version 3.0 upgrade to the firmware system, which leads into kind of Chris's topic, which is basically now that we've got some more community elements in PlayStation and we had some in Xbox, what's the debate there on, like, hey, if you've got friends on Xbox and you got friends on PlayStation, where are you going to play?
Yep. Want me to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Chris.
Well, you summed it up perfectly. So when you're doing group dynamics, for multiplayer games specifically, and even for the newest shooter coming out or the newest, whatever the new game is, you want to be able to turn a system on, log in, and see your friends. So that if you want to play with them, you can play with them. If you want to just talk while you're playing your own game, you can do that. Or just annoy them and then disappear for a minute. You can do that. Whatever. But you want to be able to do that. And I know both systems are pushing to try to make that their thing. Xbox has really been pushing it since the beginning. And I think they had the advantage in terms of the way the system worked. I still had a problem with the Xbox user base from back in the day. The actual fans, like there was a lot of childishness in it. Not as many adults. More adults seem to be playing on the PlayStation Network. But now with the new update to PlayStation, I think things have kind of shifted a lot. You have new improvements, and does it push it over? Does it make it where that's going to be the place that we're going to go? So that's.
So I didn't see all the details of the update. Can you just tell me like what I saw a community button now that showed up in an events button, but I don't.
So what you have now is this: you have communities. So you actually have the ability to create communities based around interests. So like we all play Destiny, so you could actually create a Nerdy Knights Destiny community with its own message board, discussion, screenshots, all that kind of stuff. Everything is there. You could actually have like a Nerdy Knights board for the PlayStation Network. You could have, so that's part of it. Stickers, big deal.
Yay, stickers!
Yeah, I know. There's going to be there's improvements to messaging groups, so you can make actually now your favorite groups of people, so they actually do appear immediately when you log in, instead of looking for them, which we've been complaining about forever. So that's part of it now. You just have to look at the functionality. It's there. Events is nice. So you can actually, this is something from World of Warcraft that they put in a long time ago. I'm surprised it never came over. That's World of Warcraft, but all MMOs, is that it's a calendar. So it's the same thing we do now with, you can create a calendar event, send it out to everyone who's part of your group. So if we're going to go do a raid, if we're going to go do some mission or some story at this day, on this time, you can put that in an event and everyone gets it and you can get the message from it. I know YouTube, all of that, the live streaming is a lot easier now. It's easier to do. Screenshots have been updated on. It's a bunch of stuff. So there you go. There's a quick little rundown on it.
So do you think people are going to use it?
I think that it's something where people have to get used to it. And then I think it's going to get used. Because I know, again, from playing MMOs, that's the style of game that this works really well for. And that's a huge thing. Just imagine, we play a lot of Destiny together. Imagine if you could set, we're going to do the new, Oryx raid on Tuesday night at this time, Pacific Standard. So, boom, we're set. We know who's going. We know which 6 people are going to be on. You can reply. You're in the event. We don't have to get on and who's going to be on. That's a huge thing. And Xbox already had some of that. So now, with the new functionality, with newer games coming out, where do you think everyone's going to wind up?
So does Xbox have anything similar to that?
Yeah. They've had similar stuff like that. Because it's Windows-based. So they have all of their with their new Windows 10 update. They have all of that kind of one functionality with the Microsoft Office products built in. So you have the Outlook. The problem is they want you to use, again, you're using your Microsoft account and creating events in Microsoft and moving it around through there, which no one really ever does.
That's fair. So, Brant, what do you say? You ready to join the Nerdy Knights Destiny community?
Maybe. I've considered playing Destiny because now I've been listening to some of the podcasts. I don't know if there are these things called podcasts. So I was listening.
Are there?
We should think about recording these conversations that we have.
That would be genius.
Especially since we have a certain date and time when we're on the internet. But that's a different topic.
We should do that when Ben's not here because he is firmly against that.
He hates the internet. He's a weird man. He's all sorts of analog stuff. Anyway, but it was. I've been listening to podcasts and they've been saying, oh, if you get into year 2, then you get all the stuff, and then it's just one investment for people who want to kind of get caught up. I pay $60 American, and I'm in pretty good shape. So potentially, I could see myself playing Destiny. I know that would please a bunch of people.
Most about this chat.
It's true. Yeah, exactly. There would be at least Ben would be happy, and if Ben's happy, then the whole world can go to hell. As long as Ben's happy, though.
Yeah.
Well, there's a shining star.
Which is great. The big thing is going to be, does this, and it's just an open-ended question, does this push the PlayStation, in the response that I've seen so far online from Xbox owners, is that they're pissed off because the update for the PlayStation is that good.
I'm not going to use a whole lot of it because I don't play a whole bunch of multiplayer games.
I don't have friends. I have
friends, but I just don't play.
Well, no, but imagine if you had that functionality for Mario Maker. Right.
No, I just think that it's great. I think that the tools are incredible. I updated the PlayStation. I think through Plus it downloaded when I went to sleep.
Yep.
So I just hit X and everything went smoothly. As opposed to like 15 hours of
waiting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The usefulness of having it connected through an Ethernet jack. So I think the tools are incredible. I've checked out the rundown. There are people posting about communities for like the Kind of Funny people have a PlayStation community, and I think there are other publications and folks that have communities. And I think that's absolutely great. It's a way to engage with other fans of a particular product. You have, that you want to play with people on PlayStation, and you like this community. If they have a community on this PlayStation Network, it's easy to interact with people. It's great. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of it, but I think that it is an incredibly smart move, and it'll prove super useful going forward to have it established this early in the console's life. It's been almost 2 years, but it's got a few more years certainly left in it. So to have the social tools be this competent this early is it's an exceptionally good sign for Sony.
Yeah, and if you have very competent social tools, and you have similar everything else, do then exclusives become the only reason to play one system over the other?
I mean, I think so.
Or is it just, again, your own personal community? So,
I mean, I think it's interesting because like you've kind of carved out this niche between the PS4 Xbox owners and like Wii U, where like I think the last generation of gaming was probably more across the board. Like I think I would know more people who owned a Wii, a PS3, and an Xbox 360 than I do people who own a PS4, an Xbox One, and a Wii U. Unless they bought the Wii U first, like idiots.
That's some trash talking right there.
I'm telling you.
It might be. But yeah, I mean, I think that's, you know what, I actually don't think that's where it's going. And I think the differentiator isn't the games, but the ancillary support on the systems. And it's interesting because, so as we, like 12 hours from what this podcast right now, Microsoft is having a Windows 10 event. And they're expected to highlight a ton of new stuff, including new products, but also probably more integration on how Xbox is going to deal with Windows 10.
Yeah.
And to me, that's going to be the biggest difference. If Xbox can bridge PC gaming and PS4 is like the king of console gaming, like I think you have enough of a niche on both sides. Now, obviously the Xbox isn't going to replace your awesome gaming laptop, but in a sense it gets close.
Is that an eye roll? Yeah, your awesome gaming laptop.
Maybe. No.
I have an awesome gaming desktop.
Let's put it another way. I'm a Mac user. I've been a Mac user for a while. I now own a Surface Pro. I have not PC gamed in who knows how long.
Although your Surface Pro can PC game, just so you know.
It can. I'm not gonna like put Skyrim on it though.
I boot camp with my Mac. I enjoy my life. It's a good time.
I'm surrounded by Mac users. Whoever's in chat, sorry.
Yeah, listen. Just because you're hanging out with people who make smarter choices than you doesn't mean that you have to feel bad.
You can keep talking, Chief. All I'm hearing is buying. That's okay. There is a huge divide. That's a whole other thing. I could even imagine if it's again Microsoft. It's funny the amount of people who I know that have iPhones and Microsoft products everywhere and do not have an Xbox or do not like it at all. It's like,
yeah, it's weird because I've got friends who work for Google, and it's an interesting divide because
Apple version of it.
All have Android phones,
but they
all have Mac laptops.
Yeah, and then there's no Mac. Could you imagine if there was like an Apple gaming console? They try to get in on it.
I mean, there kind of is now. The Apple TV is kind of built.
They could just buy a couple of the companies making current
stuff. They could buy Sony.
They could be like, Sony, come on.
Just buy them and just be like, this is now called the iConsole. And it's not the PS4 anymore. It's the PSI4.
Yeah.
And we're going to sell you a new one every year. It'll be the exact same thing.
Gaming components for build your own PCs, which is in my opinion the only way to do it, is to roll your own. Components get updated all the time, so it's a whole rigmarole.
Yeah.
So given that, I mean, I think the last question I kind of have in this is, obviously you see the way console gaming has evolved. Do you think that these group dynamics, because they're so augmented with PC, whether it's in the PC gaming space or whether it's just literally a website like Destiny LFG where you can find people, do you think that's not already existed, or do you think it just makes it easier for the average gamer to find? What do you think is the great new benefit coming out of this?
I think that it's a lot of people do not, even people that I play with, do not sit down with their PS4 or Xbox on next to their computer.
Like me.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean,
people play.
It's true. They play in their TV in the living room and the laptop's put away or whatever, and having that functionality right there, that's the key. And that's what they've been pushing, is it's an all-in-one system. It's able to do everything. That's what Microsoft's tried to do. And, but yeah, I think that's the difference between the fact that it does already exist. There's no reason in the world that you couldn't just invite all of your friends, make a Facebook group, and label it some sort of weird, NNR, something, something weird, something about nerds, and just invite people through that. But no one does. So
Brant, how about you? Is your PC next to your console?
Yes, everything is hooked up to one monitor. It's got some DisplayPort inputs. It's got some HDMI inputs. It's got Ks. It's got 4Ks. It's got 4Ks hooked up.
That's a lot of Benjamins. How many Benjamins is that 4K?
How many Benjamins was the 4K? Like 4. It was 4 bills.
Okay.
I got it refurbished.
The engineer answer is 40.
40. Oh, yes.
I was wondering. I was like, 4? That's really, really good deal. I didn't know where you got that from.
4 Ben Riddicks.
4 Ben Riddicks.
4 Benjamin Riddicks. And so, yeah, sometimes I can just switch between my inputs. And so usually I have my laptop connected. I actually have everything built into my desk because I'm a lunatic. And I put holes in the desk and wires and cooling, and it's a whole... I'm not the average bear. Certainly. But it's nice to have everything. I like having everything consolidated. So if I'm talking to you folks, then I'm like, man, we're doing nerdy things and we're knights. And then I take the helmet off, after the podcast, then I just flip on my Mario Maker, and it's a good time to be alive. In fact, I can play Mario Maker on the gamepad right now and ignore you fools.
Great. Well, so